Hello and welcome back to Family Law Assistance. I hope you're well. I can't believe it's Friday already. Now, just want to spill the tea. What's happening here? I'm going all out Christmassy this year. As you've probably guessed, I've made a pledge to myself that I'm going to be wearing Christmas attire throughout the month of December. I've got one, not just one Christmas trees, but two. So, I'm just being all extra. And like I've said before, it's mainly because I know how dark and dismal this time of year is for many, many parents. So today I thought we'd do something a little bit of fun, because I don't know what you're doing in work, but I know here at Family Law Assistance, we're kind of winding down, getting ready for Christmas itself. So I thought it'd be rather fun to come up with sort of 12 gifts. By gifts, of course, I mean tips to help you in your court case for next year. Now, I've written them down in no particular order. I just really wanted to give you 12 gifts. So in no particular order, number one, I'm going to say be succinct. It would be amazing when people say what they want and they really think that, trust me when I say that 5 words will absolutely do, rather than the 8 paragraphs that you've probably already got planned. So whatever communication that you're putting to court, make sure that you're being succinct. And by succinct, I just mean get to the point. I have read so many statements over the years where it's gone to 10, 20, 30 pages of a statement. And in fact, I remember one statement seeing it was 40 to 50 pages. You think I'm kidding? Trust me, I'm not. After 14 years of just doing this, there is nothing I haven't seen before. So whatever correspondence that you're putting towards the court, being it statement form, be concise, be succinct. Number 2, keep it relevant. Honestly, nobody cares, okay, whether he's had an affair. Nobody cares whether little Johnny came back to you with his sock off. Keep it relevant. Now, you might need help in keeping things relevant, because the tendency that most people have when they go to court is that they want to impart to the court war and peace. For them, all of the detail is important, but it's not. So if you need to have help to find out what's relevant in this case, or what's relevant to put in your statement and what isn't, get that help. Because it might be that you have to put a case in, for example, I don't know, if you have a case where you have to put a statement and answering solely the allegations. Well, the court will have ordered you to make sure that your statement contains just the allegations and perhaps not focusing on child contact. Or you might be wanting to focus on child contact, but you're just talking about the allegations. So my point is this: whatever correspondence that you're putting to the court, keep it relevant. Check your court order. What do you actually need to include in that statement? What is the most relevant points that you're trying to make in that statement? And again, like I said, this subject is very emotional. Heck, it's controversial. So if you need help to get that message across, then make sure you get that help. Number 3, my personal favourite, social media. Social media has been a gem when it comes to evidence, quite frankly. I'm amazed at how many times people have said to me, well, I know I've slagged my ex off, but I had my settings set on private. Doesn't matter. If you put it on the internet, you may as well just take out a spread in the local rag. Social media, keep it off. Don't slag off. Don't slag off anybody. From this point forward, if you have not been doing this already, I couldn't care less what your settings are on social media. Somebody, somewhere, somehow, I guarantee will find it. So don't slag the ex off on social media. Keep off social media. Number 4, know what you want. Now, I know you look at me like I've got 7 heads at this point, but people know what they don't want. People rarely know what they do want. So a typical conversation I would have, I know, say with a dad who wanted a relationship with his child, I'll go, okay, so what does that look like? Well, I don't want this, I don't want that. Or typically they'll say to me, well, I just want some contact. And I think, well, it's a bit like going into a greengrocer's and saying to the person, well, I just want some apples. You might end up with one, or you might end up with a bushel. Know what you want specifically. If you're a separated parent, for example, and you're wanting a relationship with your child or children, what does that look like to you? Get the calendar out. What does it look like? How do you see the outcome? It makes my job a heck of a lot easier, because anybody that's helping you will be able to work back to front. If we know what the goal is, we can work up to that. Number 5, be organised. You know, sometimes I remember speaking to somebody and they honestly said to me, yeah, the court paperwork is in the bread bin. I went, what? Excuse me? Yeah. The court paperwork is in the bread bin. Now, I know, after doing this gig for 14 years, I know the kinds of places that people put their court paperwork, or their reports, or their local authority assessments, or their psych reports. I know, okay? The one thing that you will learn pretty quick is that the glory is not in the courtroom. I know, spoiler alert. Not quite so sexy really, is it? But the glory is actually in the preparation. So do yourself a favour, get organised. Get the stuff from out the bread bin, from behind the radiator, I'm looking at you, and put it into a lever arch folder, and preferably in chronological order. There's a mental thing to it as well, because when your paperwork, and I get it, it's cool, there's a lot of paperwork, but when your paperwork is in order, you feel in order as well. So that's my tip number 5. Tip number 6, have a support team. And I know, some people are like, what? What you're going through right now is extremely stressful, extremely. So you are going to want somebody who gets it. And spoiler alert, it may not be your friends and family. You know that whole saying, well, you won't know what I've gone through unless you've walked a mile in my shoes. It's likely that your friends and family are not going to be your go-to people. They won't get where you're coming from. So find like-minded people who do understand where you're coming from. When you're going through court and you think you're the only person that this is happening to, I guarantee you it's not. You're not alone in this, but you do need to find people that honestly know what it's like to be in your shoes. So make sure you surround yourself with those people. Number 7. Remember that the solicitor acting for your ex is just doing that. They're just acting for the ex. They're just the messenger. Oh yeah, sure, they come out with these fancy words and they come out with their posh suits and they sound all official and all important. But remember, they are the messenger for your ex. They're officers of the court. That's it. Okay, so don't shoot the messenger. Actually, an exercise that you might want to do is, if you have a lot of solicitors' letters coming from the ex, get one of those letters and look at them. And I mean, really look at them. And you'll notice that the language and the things they're talking about in the letter are actually what your ex would be saying anyway, but just dressed up in legalese. I get it. When you're in court, it looks like English, it kind of sounds like English, but it definitely doesn't feel like English. I understand. Number 8, have a plan. Amazingly, people who go through family court feel that it's something that's happening to them. And when people feel that it's something happening to them, then you automatically feel like you're in the back seat. You automatically feel like you're having to defend your position the whole time. Take it from me, having done this for 14 years, that with a plan, you feel better. That plan takes you from 5th gear to 1st gear like that. So whomever you've got as your support team, your legal team, whomever, have a plan, because it turns a reactive process into a proactive process and puts you in the driving seat. Trust me, you'll feel a whole lot better. Number 9, compromise. I'm amazed when the problem we have is that we have person A in their camp, person B in their camp, and there's normally a whole bunch of no man's land where people like me and other family law professionals have to try and navigate. So be prepared to compromise. Know your bottom line, but don't dig your heels in just for the sake of digging your heels in. Okay? Be able to compromise. Next, leave your emotions at the door. Now, this kind of ties into sort of my previous tip about having your support network, because, spoiler alert, you're gonna get angry. You're gonna hear stuff said about you that you don't like, that you feel is untrue, unfair, and unjust. You're gonna hear things that's probably gonna make your blood boil. So I don't care whether you have to learn Thai boxing, meditate, listen to some ambient music, rant at the person that you've brought with you, but leave your emotions out the door. Because the minute you step into a court arena, it's almost like, and I hate to demean it to such a level, but it's almost like a game of chess, right? You're not going to win in one move. And the rules that you play with in the court arena are not the rules that you play with in real life. Leave your emotions at the door. Find another way to deal with, I get the whole kaleidoscope of emotions. Of course you're emotional. This is your life. This is your children. This is your finances. You know, you've probably been with this person for years. You love this person at some point so much that you made not one but 2 children with them. I get it. But for the purpose of achieving the outcome that you want to, learn to control the emotions. Find a way. Now, here at Family Law Assistance, of course, we certainly help with that. But if you're just sort of popping on here and just wanting some advice just before Christmas, find a way to control the emotions. Number 11, think before you send that email. Imagine that every email that you send is going to be put as evidence to the court. So whether you'd normally send a letter, I hope you wouldn't, but if you'd normally send a letter going, F you, you've done this, you've done that, I don't know how you, if you don't tell me this, then I'll come round and do this, rah, 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 rah. You start shouting, effing and blinding. I'm telling you, that will get used as evidence in front of the court. And trust me, it's bizarre sometimes to hear a high court, articulate, intelligent and erudite judge reading some of the social media or an extract from your ill-chosen email. So I've heard high court judges and says, okay, so you are just a sperm donor. Have you ever heard a really high court judge swear? I have. It sounds bizarre. And finally, my final tip, never give up. No matter how hard this is, the likeliness is that you guys are here because either you're not seeing your children or you're going through a divorce and you may not get what you want straight away. Whoever you've got by your side should manage those expectations. You may not, like I said with the chess analogy, you won't win in one move. You're going to need to have patience. And in order to have patience to get what you want, never give up. Guys, I hope that's been really, really useful. And we are winding down now, coming up to Christmas. I think we've got some availability of an appointment Monday morning, but that's it till the new year. We are, however, going to be having a live for your delectation. We're going to be talking to a separated dad and just kind of his experience going through the family court. He's done a lot to sort of help separated dads in campaigning with the law, etc. So that's going to be, I think on the 28th. She says vaguely. I'll keep you posted and drop things down. Guys, if you need us, do shout, holler, put your comments in the boxes below. And if you need us, obviously hoot and holler at us. Guys, have an amazing Christmas. I'm probably not the last I'm going to jump on here and do a live, because you guys know I can't keep away. I like to check in with you guys. Let me know how you are, really. And I shall see you soon. Over and out.